What is going on, guys? Horizon here, and today we are going to be taking a look at how G2 managed to shut down Team Queso in the grand finals of the RLCS Winter Major. Up until this point, Team Queso was on a massive lower bracket run and had taken care of every giant that North America threw at them up until they ran into G2. So we are going to hop on board with Atomic here, and we are going to see just what he got up to in G2's championship clinching match. Before we hop into this though, if you guys do enjoy the content, please consider clicking that subscribe button and turning on notifications. It really does help me out a bunch, and I really do appreciate it. But without any further ado, we're going to hop right on into this here and see what Atomic gets up to. Now, one of the things that we'll see G2 do a lot, especially Atomic, is he does the same kickoff every time. So what he does here is he's going to try to put as much mass of his car behind the center of the ball as possible to force this ball in the direction he wants it to go. So he's going to go completely side on to the middle of this ball, and then delay his flip until after he gets his initial touch, and then use his flip to push the ball in the direction he wants to go. So if we take one more look at this, and we'll even slow it down a bit here. So as he approaches the ball, he's going to put himself side on here, and then he gets the initial touch, and then as soon as the Team Queso member is past the contact point of the ball, he is then going to use his flip to push the ball in the direction that he wants it to go. So we're going to see this pretty consistently throughout the game from Atomic. And on we go. Out to get the side boost, unfortunately gets taken off the field there. Good reaction on the spawn to go ahead and get an immediate challenge and get the clear out. I like this positioning. Going upfield and seeing if Jnaps beats Vatira to this ball. He's able to do this because he knows that he has Chicago all the way back. So it doesn't really matter if Jnaps does get beat, because Vatira is not going to be able to take control of this. So Chicago will be able to back Atomic up in this situation. But if Jnaps does win the ball, then Atomic's there for the pass. Either way works out. Beautiful passing play coming out here from G2 for the first goal. So let's take a bit of a deep dive into this. So Jnaps runs upfield here as Chicago comes in for the challenge. Jnaps goes to steal that boost, and he's kind of in the same situation that Atomic was in just a moment ago, where he knows that he has defenders back, so he's able to be a bit more free. So Jnaps is all the way downfield. Chicago very obviously has the next touch on this ball. So Jnaps currently is on a rotation back, and he's waiting to see what happens to determine what his next move is going to be. As soon as he sees that Chicago is going to have this next touch, you can see Jnaps slowly arcing in a turn back towards the blue net here, so that he can be ready for whatever touch Atomic is going to get. Because Atomic has a couple of options. He can bang this ball forward, he can take it down on a dribble, he can do whatever he really wants with it because he's got a bit of space. So Jnaps is going to kind of position himself in a neutral position, so that whatever Atomic does, he's able to react to it. Atomic does get this nice pass forward, and Jnaps turns on a dime to go ahead and put this ball past Rise into the net. Really hard play for Queso to defend there indeed, and it puts G2 on top 1-0. On we go then. We'll see that same kickoff once again. This time works out to get a second challenge as well. Bumped into Queso's end, but he's going to do a bit of recovering here. Pathing over some boost pads for himself. Another thing we'll see a lot is these deep rotations from Atomic. He's going to go all the way back here. He doesn't want to give any chance that this ball is going to get past him, so he's just going to make sure he plays as safe as possible. Unfortunate touch here from Queso is going to lead to G2's second goal. So you'd really like from Queso to see this ball get pushed downfield, but Rise accidentally just pounds this directly into the ceiling, and unfortunately Joyo is already planning to go out to the left side of the field, and Vatira is stuck in the middle of the field. So no one really has a chance to do much. Joyo could have turned around for sure, but unfortunately it wasn't communicated fast enough, and he wasn't able to get back. Unfortunate mistake there from Queso, puts G2 up 2-0. On we go. Would have liked to see Atomic get a demo here. Unclear if he really went for it or not. It doesn't look like he overly made many efforts to go for it. Would have been nice to see him be able to take Rise off the field in this situation, but he does lock him up a bit and makes it awkward for him, so that does work out. Bit of an awkward play going on here as Queso gets control. Awkward positioning here from G2 in the corner. So, this happens. Atomic gets beat. This is all fine. No worries so far. But then you'll notice that, like, G2 is going to have just a line of cars rushing into this corner. And I'm not entirely sure why. Because they're really limiting the amount of stuff they can really cover. Because if this 50-50 goes a little less favorably, and it like pinches off the backboard, no one's really in a position to make much of a play on this ball. Whereas if someone's positioned like back post right about now, then any 50-50 that came out from this, someone would be able to attack. But currently with where they're all stacked up in this corner here, there's not really a whole lot they can really do if this 50-50 goes a little bit south. Luckily, Jnaps does get the clear, and Majir just kind of floats at it. Really nice bump here from Atomic, just recognizing that every other Queso member is currently behind this ball. So as long as he gets Matira out of the way, G2 will have the next free touch, and indeed they do. Again, Atomic turning upfield here then to look for a pass from Chicago. Doesn't come out on this occasion, but no real worries there. Another hard rotation here into where all three G2 members are in a very similar spot. They're only really covering like one corner of the field in this instance and can't really do much about the right side of the field. G2 plays very compact with each other, which is not typically what you see from a lot of teams. Very compact positioning from G2 here. So if Queso were able to get this ball into open space, they would definitely have some opportunities. Unfortunately for Team Queso, G2 is just absolutely dominating the 50-50 game currently. So G2 doesn't have to overly be concerned about their compact positioning, because as long as they control the 50-50s, they're not really going to have to worry about it. Wait to see what happens here. Again, some awkward positioning here doesn't really give Jnaps a whole lot of options. You can see Atomic creep forward, and he's kind of just underneath Jnaps. So he can't really react to any kind of pass that Jnaps gets. Would have had an opportunity for a shot there if he was a bit more mid, but it works out. Fakes the jump, takes the 50, all good. Rotating around. Just chilling out in the midfield. Watching for any kind of clear that might come out. Here it comes, gonna get it back in. Really nice positioning from Atomic overall, just making sure he covers where Queso can play this ball. He knows this isn't going to be going out to the left side of the field, so he can just position himself on the right, go up and challenge wherever the ball goes. Not the best touch in the middle, but does work to keep pressure on Queso for sure. Another awkward, compact rotation here as he just kind of darts across the field and gets right behind Jnaps. Not exactly sure what his plan is here for what he's attempting to do next. Unfortunate misread here as well. Just gonna come back down, go for the bump on Joyo. A little bit of an awkward to go for a flip here. I know he's trying to get up to Supersonic so he gets this demo, but he's also really risking taking himself entirely out of the play in doing so. I think it's better here just to stay on the wheels, and if Joyo avoids the bump, all well and good, that's fine. But by flipping, you land really awkwardly in net, and it takes him a good bit of time to get his wheels back on the ground. Luckily it works out. Then gets a demo later on Rise, so able to get revenge for not getting the initial demo on Joyo. Letting Jnaps take the clear, all good. Awkward touch on the wall here. I think he's expecting Joyo to challenge him here. He's just expecting this challenge to be coming in. So this is actually a really nice touch, as if the challenge does come in, this slight touch to the side is going to completely take Joyo out of the play. But if Joyo doesn't challenge, then the ball is still in G2 possession, and Jnaps can just take over. It doesn't allow for a fake challenge to completely beat the G2 players and have them give up possession, and so it enables them to keep control of the ball, which is what you always want to be doing. Going up here, getting the clear. Letting Jnaps go as he's in a better position. Rotating around, picking up some boost. Nothing too crazy going on, just playing pretty well positionally currently. Atomic is playing a very solid third. Man, I could not have timed that saying that any worse. So, he spent a good, like, 20 seconds or so playing really solid positionally, just being where he can make plays on the ball if he needs to be. All this is great. But then, G2 does not have control of this ball. So we need to realize that at any moment here, Queso can have a clear. So to push upfield decently far towards where your team is on offense, as soon as this touch comes out, we need to be beelining this back to the net, because currently no one from G2 can touch this ball and Queso has full control. And he moves forward a little bit more and then gets completely caught out. If he was positioned a little bit further back, he'd be able to deal with this. Unfortunately, ball gets banged over his head. Queso pulls themselves back within one. Got a real game on our hands here in the last series of the event. On we go. We still see that same kickoff from Atomic. Gonna keep controlling the ball, go for another challenge. Can't quite get it. Start trying to starve out Team Queso. And then another really nice play from G2. So we're gonna see this where they do a great job of leaving their options open. So as soon as Ventura gets this clear, number one, JNaps is gonna go for the demo. If JNaps doesn't get the demo, then we can change up what our plan is, because Atomic is still in a fairly neutral position, where he can either turn back into this play, or he can go back on defense, whatever the situation requires. So JNaps gets the demo, so now we know, okay cool, we're cool to stay on offense. Now, Chicago is going to do a really smart thing and get this pass over to Atomic. Now, he doesn't want to shoot this, because he's not coming in with a whole lot of momentum, so if he goes to shoot this, he might hit it a little too lightly, and it might end up getting saved by Rise. So instead, he puts this nice pass over to Atomic to kind of guarantee this goal. Because now Rise has almost no shot at getting back, because Atomic's going to hit that ball with more power than Chicago could. Very unselfish play by Chicago to recognize that one more pass was needed to guarantee the goal. Really nice play here. Go ahead and get that clear. Now, it looks like JNaps actually got spooked by hearing Atomic here, because you watch JNaps, it's almost like he thinks this might be a Queso member behind him, because he jumps out of the way. So you're almost wondering, like, does G2's overlapping positioning cause them some issues like this from time to time, where they're actually afraid that they're going to get bumped or demoed because they think it's an opponent coming behind them, when it's actually their teammates? Because this should be JNap's ball, but then he kind of just jumps out of the way and lets Atomic take the challenge. And if JNaps just stays on this is actually a 50-50. Because he's closer to this ball than Atomic was. But because he jumped out of the way and let Atomic come forward, now he gets beat out by Vatira. Just awkward positioning sometimes from G2, kind of overlapping with each other. Might cause them some issues from time to time. Thing to definitely keep an eye on. Boost pad rotation here, making sure we avoid the demo. And then this is really nice feathering a boost here by Atomic. He doesn't have a whole lot when he takes off for this, because he uses it to avoid the demo and then get up the wall. So he jumps with like 30. And he goes down to 20. And at this point, no one's up. He's not going to score this ball because he doesn't have enough boost to do so. So if he just chills behind it, doesn't have to do anything crazy, and then he can just use the boost at the last minute to adjust his car as he sees how Rise is coming in to take this challenge. Because then he can adjust his car to take this challenge favorably, and it works out, pinching right over to Chicago. Very nice 50-50 manipulation there from Atomic to go ahead and give G2 an opportunity on the net. Queso's defense just a little too good in that situation. Again, we see a bit of awkward positioning from G2 here as they're all in the same corner. And this almost turns into what I talked about earlier, where if a unfavorable 50-50 happens, they're in a bit of an awkward spot. Because this 50-50 goes really favorably for Queso, and now no one's in a position to attack this ball from an angle that would allow them to beat Joyo to it, because none of them are facing where this ball is going, so they'll have to turn to try to get in a position to deal with it. But unfortunately, just as G2 had nobody positioned for where this 50-50 was going to go, neither did Team Queso, so there's no powerful shot coming, and just kind of a giveaway of possession there, and just an easy dribble down the field for Atomic, and he'll slot that home. With 1 minute and 3 seconds left, up by 3, things are looking pretty solid for G2 here. See how they kill out this last minute. Does not do anything too crazy. Now's the time where you want to make sure you don't overcommit at all. Let's make sure you're playing solid and playing safe. Lovely clear there to get the ball downfield. We're not super worried about maintaining super tight possession now. We're really just worried about wasting time. So the more time we can waste, the better. Really nice save there by Vatira, actually, to take that shot away from Chicago. Powerful shot for sure. Recovery mechanics coming out from Atomic as he gets the chain dash going on the wall. Letting Chicago attack this ball as he has a better angle. Unfortunately, can't avoid the demo here from Vatira. Probably is just watching the ball, didn't see Vatira coming across. Luckily, no harm, no foul. Going to avoid Rise in this situation, though, by just boosting away and continuing to steal the boost down the field. Playing a bit of a safe for third man position. Jumping up for this, cutting the ball off, making sure Queso aren't let out of their half for free. And at this point, we kind of realize that we are good to go. Just going to kind of play out these last 6 seconds. Celebratory boost usage from Atomic. Going up for one more challenge. And with that, clock hits 0. everybody realizes it's over and the ball touches down. The main thing that looked a bit awkward was how compact G2 was in their positions in several instances. A lot of times they were all facing the same direction, they were all in the same corner. This caused them to not have as much field coverage as some other teams that we've seen. Now obviously this style works perfectly fine for them, so this isn't necessarily something they're doing wrong, but it is something that I think teams can take advantage of if they can get the 50-50 game out of the control of G2. Because if you start to get favorable 50s, and the ball does not go to a place that G2 is expecting, then you have the opportunity to attack the ball earlier than they do, because they have to reposition before they can attack it. That will wrap it up for the final replay analysis of the Winter Major. This is probably the last match of this I'm going to cover, unless there's any match in particular that you guys want to see. If there is, go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. Thank you everybody so much for watching, as I greatly appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications. If you guys have any video ideas, suggestions, anything like that, go ahead and throw those down in the comments below. As always, I look forward to checking those out. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys. Thank you.